What if I told you there's a tribe where a woman can be with 10 different men in one night and it's considered a sacred ritual? Where a wife belongs not to just one husband, but to all his brothers at once? Where a 60-year-old woman can take a 20-year-old guy as her partner and nobody judges? Today, I'm going to tell you the truth about the Maasai tribe that will shock even the most progressive feminists. The truth that anthropologists keep hidden. The truth about how women there live under conditions that our society would call complete moral chaos. Did you know that Maasai women use intimacy as a political weapon? That one woman can prevent war between tribes simply by having children with warring chiefs? And that's not even the most mind-blowing part, because what's coming next is what they don't write in textbooks. What will make you reconsider everything you believe about marriage, family, and human relationships. Stay until the end, because I've saved the most stunning fact about what happens during sacred Maasai rituals for the finale. And trust me, after this, you'll never look at marriage the same way again. So buckle up. We're heading to the African savannah, where the rules of the game are drastically different from everything we're used to. The red sun sets behind an acacia tree, casting long shadows across the savannah. In a traditional Maasai kraal fenced with thorny branches, children's voices fade into quiet. But here, in the very heart of East Africa, things happen that could shake the entire civilized world. Because here, a woman can belong to several men at once. And it's not a scandal, it's tradition. This is how the Maasai live, a people who for centuries have forged their laws in the harsh conditions of the savannah, where survival depends not on moral dogma, but on practical wisdom. A people where polygamy works both ways, where a woman can become the connecting link between entire clans, where one wife can belong to brothers and sometimes to men of different generations. And this isn't a sign of loose morals, it's a sign of survival. While in the modern world marriages crumble due to jealousy and possessiveness, the Maasai practice something unimaginable: fraternal wives. A woman, after marrying one man, automatically becomes the wife of all his brothers. Not symbolically, for real. She can share a bed with any of them, and it's not betrayal, it's tradition. For the Maasai, family isn't a romantic notion about two hearts in love. Family is an economic and social unit of survival. In a world where drought can last for years, where cattle are the only wealth, and hostile tribes can attack at any moment, unity matters most. A fraternal wife binds men with ties not only of birth, but of shared responsibility. She bears children who belong to the entire clan of brothers. She manages a household that is communal. She becomes a mother to all, a wife to all, a pillar for all. This may seem strange, but in this system, there's no place for jealousy in the usual sense, because different laws operate here, laws of survival, mutual aid, and collective responsibility. Brothers don't compete for a woman, they share her as a precious resource that strengthens their unity. In Maasai culture, there's a special category of women, those who married warrior Morans. These young men, having passed initiation and shaved their heads, live separately from the main village in special camps, where they hone their combat skills and protect the tribe from enemies and wild animals. A Moran's wife gets special rights that ordinary women don't have. She can freely move between camps of different warrior groups. She can choose which Moran to spend the night with based on her own preferences or strategic considerations. Moreover, she often becomes the connecting link between different warrior groups, strengthening alliances through intimacy. This freedom isn't accidental. In a society where men can die in battle or from lion claws, a woman must have several insurance policies. Her connections with different Morans guarantee that she and her children won't be left without protection and support. This isn't love in the romantic sense. It's a survival strategy wrapped in the form of tradition. But the most surprising aspect of Maasai culture is the practice where a mature woman can have relationships not only with her husband, but also with his younger relatives or even sons from other wives. This tradition, called Isoto, allows a woman who has achieved a certain status in the family to expand her circle of intimate partners. Here it's important to understand Maasai logic. In a society where polygamy is the norm, where a man can have up to 10 wives, women also get their compensations. A senior wife, having proven her fertility and wisdom, gets the right to intimacy with younger men in the family. This isn't just satisfying physical needs, but also a way to strengthen her position in the complex family hierarchy. Young men consider it an honor to be chosen by a senior wife. It's a sign of respect, recognition of their masculinity, and readiness to take on family obligations. Such relationships often become a school for young men, where they learn to understand women, take responsibility, and become real husbands and fathers. In Maasai culture, there are special ritual periods when the usual rules of intimacy change dramatically. During certain ceremonies related to transitioning from one age group to another, women get the right to freely choose partners among all the village men. These rituals have nothing in common with promiscuity or disorder. They are deeply sacred and connected to Maasai beliefs about fertility, continuation of the bloodline, and strengthening spiritual connections between tribe members. A woman during such ceremonies becomes the embodiment of a fertility goddess, and her choice of partner is seen as divine will. Men who receive a woman's attention during the ritual don't just get physical pleasure. They take on spiritual obligations to the entire tribe. Obligations to protect, feed, and support not only this woman, but all children who might be born from this union. This creates a complex network of mutual obligations that strengthens the unity of the entire community. What might seem like moral chaos is actually a carefully constructed economic system. In Maasai society, wealth is measured by the number of cattle, and cattle require constant care, protection, and moving to new pastures. A woman having connections with several men gets access to resources from different families and clans. Each of her husbands or partners is obligated to support her materially. This could be cattle, milk, hides for clothing, metal jewelry, or simply protection in dangerous situations. The woman becomes a sort of banker who accumulates resources from different sources and rationally distributes them. Children from different fathers receive inheritance from all men who acknowledge them as their own. This creates a unique social insurance system. A child never remains without support, even if his biological father dies or loses his fortune. He always has several fathers ready to take responsibility for his future. In the Maasai world, a woman often plays the role of diplomat between warring groups. Her intimate connections with men from different clans create family ties that can prevent wars or facilitate important alliances. Maasai history knows many cases where conflict between tribes was resolved because an influential woman had sons from leaders of both sides. Her children became living bridges between warring groups, and she herself became an irreplaceable mediator in negotiations. This transforms polyandry from a personal choice into a political tool. A woman skillfully managing her relationships can influence the fates of entire tribes. She becomes not just a wife or companion, but a strategic asset that can change the balance of power in the region. Today, the ancient customs of the Maasai face serious pressure. Government civilization programs, urbanization, and education are changing the traditional way of life. Young Maasai who have received modern education often reject polygamy and polyandry in favor of European-style monogamous relationships. But traditions survive in modified forms. In some communities, hidden polyandry is practiced, where a woman is officially married to one man but unofficially maintains relationships with his brothers or friends. These relationships are no longer publicized but still exist as part of an unwritten code of mutual aid and support. Interestingly, some modern Maasai living in cities adapt ancient traditions to modern realities. They create extended families where several men jointly support one woman and her children, although officially she may be married to only one of them. Perhaps we have something to learn from the Maasai, even if their practices seem mind-blowing. Their relationship system, though radically different from our norms, is based on a deep understanding of human nature and the practical needs of survival. Lesson 1. Relationships can be based not only on romantic love, but also on mutual support, economic practicality, and strategic thinking. Lesson 2. Jealousy isn't an inevitable part of human nature, but a cultural construct that can be overcome for higher purposes. Lesson 3. A woman can be not only an object of desire, but also an active subject who manages relationships to achieve her own goals. While our world struggles with rising divorce rates, loneliness, and the destruction of family bonds, the Maasai in the African savanna continue to live by laws that ensure stability, mutual aid, and survival. They show that family can be much broader and more flexible than we're used to thinking, and that sometimes the most surprising practices hide deep wisdom forged by millennia of struggle for survival in one of the harshest regions on the planet.